All right, hello YouTube. I've been trying to do this video all day. I apologize. Um, my camera uh has has not been cooperating. I apologize. Um, but yeah, I'm finally here now. So today's video, this is going to be part one of two. Um, Today's video, I am going to be talking about what I consider to be the most underrated comic book movies. Now, these movies, these movies are um, some of the older ones. Some of the older ones, like mid to early, like mid to early 2000s. Um, and they're just movies. There are comic book movies that either didn't do very well at the box office, or um, maybe they didn't get the best reviews. Um, but they have, but maybe have, like a cult following, and and stuff like that. Yeah, no, these are just, comic book films that I really, really found. Yeah, these are just all comic book films, that I really, really enjoyed, that I really think, um, that I really, really think didn't get enough attention at the time. So, yeah, so let's get started. Number one, Daredevil, and this is actually the director's cut. Um, I remember when this came out. I am old enough to remember when it first came out. Um, and I know a lot of people made fun of, Ben Affleck at the time for, for his performance and blah, blah, blah. They thought the movie, was just very, very goofy. And, um, however, the director's cut, this is, this movie actually, or I keep saying this movie, this version um includes a half hour of never before seen footage. And this um this is a director's cut. This is a director's cut where you can take the theatrical cut of the film in the director's cut, and it's like a night and day difference in terms of story. Um, some scenes are certain scenes are extended, um, certain scenes are removed, like in the theatrical version. He goes off with when he's on the rooftops, he goes off with Electra, and they have their love scene and whatever. That doesn't happen in the director's cut. Um and um another thing that makes this a better version, much like the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman, the director's cut is actually R-rated. So you have um so it adds, like more of like a violent tone to the movie. Um and yeah, and this version is a it is this version feels a lot more like the comic book. um and and it's so good. I in fact I think um it's so frigging good, and it's so underrated. Um and it's just it I really don't understand why this version didn't. um I don't understand why this wasn't the version that was released, in theaters. I really, really don't, because this version is, it's so good. It's so well done. Um, it's so good. It's so well done. And I really don't understand why this didn't get enough attention. In fact, I think there are some people out there who just don't even know, that this version even exists. Um, and it's an unbelievable version of the movie. And all I can say is, if you did not like the theatrical version, watch this version, because the difference between this version and the theatrical version is night and day. It really, really is. Um, yeah. So the next one, Ghost Rider, and this is actually the extended cut. Um, I do not remember the theatrical version of the film at all, really. I saw it once when it came out in the theater. Excuse me, all those years ago when it came out, and then um, and then that was it. And then obviously, when I heard, when I heard that there was an extended cut, being released, I was like, yeah, I'm getting this. Um, Nicholas Choi. I Sorry guys, I can't talk today. Um, Nicholas Cage definitely would not have been my first choice for Ghost Rider. Um, but um, but one of the things that I think, just makes this movie so good is it is incredibly true to the source material. It is some fans out there will say that it's not, but it is. It's very, very true to uh, the source material. Um, it is. This is directed by the same guy, who did Daredevil, Mark Steven Johnson. Um, the tone of the movie is very, very much um the same tone and like the same like feel as the theatrical version of Daredevil. Um Kind of, like that campy, well, I don't want to say campy, but um for its time, I guess. Well, I mean, I guess today would be kind of, I guess today it would be considered kind of campy, um but yeah, no, this movie is definitely um very, very underappreciated. Um and if you're a Ghost Rider fan like myself, um this is there's definitely a lot to like about this one, despite Nick Cage's performance as Johnny Blaze. Again, he would not have been my first choice, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. Next one, Superman Returns. I really don't understand why this movie failed. I really don't understand why. Um, I really don't understand why so many people didn't like it, because this movie this movie is actually a sequel to Superman 2. So um this was not a reboot. This is basically this is basically this is basically a reboot of the timeline. So it ignores Superman 3 and 4, and this serves as a sequel to the first two Donner Superman movies. Um, the tone of the movie, and like the overall like the setting of like the set design of the movie, the tone, the style, or like the overall style, feels very, very, very much in line with the first two Superman movies, as it should, because again, this serves as a sequel to Superman 2. And the fact that Brandon Routh looked exactly like how Christopher Reeve did back when he did Superman, which is obviously what they were going for. Um, it is definitely a very, very underrated movie, um, and like I said, I don't understand why so many people didn't like this movie um, because it is definitely a very good um, interpretation of Superman. The only thing I didn't like about this movie is I thought that Katie Bowsworth was entirely too young to play Lois Lane at the time. But other than that, um, yeah. But other than that, I really don't understand why this movie failed, because me personally, I really, really enjoyed it. Um, and the next one is, and I've talked about this one quite a bit actually, The Punisher, the 2004 Thomas Jane movie. And this is actually the extended cut. I think I did a review on this at one point. Um, I know I've said this in, I think, a couple of different videos, but this is still my favorite interpretation of the Punisher, because Thomas Jane, excuse me, sorry, because Thomas Jane just friggin' killed it. Um he completely nailed classic Punisher. Um yeah, as I said, I think I said this in my Punisher review. A lot of it is taken, a lot of the movie, a lot of the inspiration for the movie was taken from Welcome Back, Frank. um, and the movie is just, it's very, very grounded um, like real times. There's not much science fiction at all in this movie, which honestly, obviously the Punisher, not having like any superhuman abilities or anything like that, the fact that he's just a guy, the fact that he's just or the fact that he's just like a regular guy, um who just goes around, brutally, murdering and, torturing criminals. Um, um, it's very, very fitting, for a movie like this. And from what I understand, that's what the director was aiming for. A, um, he wanted a movie, that was just, very, very grounded and, not, and that's not, you know, he wanted a movie that was just, like very, very grounded with, none of the, like over the top, like CGI or, or stunts or, anything like that. Um, and I think, and Thomas Jane, obviously, set the bar for, for the character, the Punisher. So many people loved, um, his take on the Punisher. Um, and from what I understand, they were actually going to do a sequel, at one point, years ago, but basically what happened was all these, they couldn't get the script, they couldn't get the script um the way that they wanted it, and then Thomas Jane eventually, ended up leaving, and then Thomas Jane eventually ended up leaving the movie. um But yeah, no, this definitely deserved more attention than than it got. And then my last one, Darkman. Now this movie, um, this is actually one of my favorite movies in general, not just, I don't just consider it, an underrated, excuse me, comic book movie. This is actually one of my favorite movies in general. Um, and from what I understand, this movie ended up happening because Sam Raimi, the director, wanted he wanted to do I heard that originally he wanted to do a movie on The Shadow, but I think it's Universal. Uh, Universal wouldn't give him the rights. I think The Shadow had something going on during that time, and Universal wouldn't give him the rights to to the movie. So Sam Raimi ended up doing um so Sam Raimi basically decided to create a superhero of his own, and we ended up with Darkman. Um this movie, because it came out in the 90s, it's very, it's one of those, it's one of those, like no apologies, like in your face sort of, like in your face, like 90s, because again, it was made in 1990. Um and this was actually Liam Neeson's first action role, which I didn't realize until um um until recently. Um and yeah, no, it's just a really fun, good superhero movie. The movie was pretty successful. Obviously, it spanned, like comic books and stuff like that. Um, and unfortunately two sequels that I think both came directly to DVD. They completely skipped theatrical releases and just came straight to DVD. Obviously that they were both obviously, the sequels were nowhere near as good and successful as this one. But um but yeah, no, this is just a really, really good, fun um movie. And if you like Sam Raimi, if you like his style, um, and if you like, Liam Neeson, this is definitely one to watch. Um, this is definitely one to watch because it is definitely very, very well worth your time as well. Um, anyway, yeah, so that is the end of part one. I should have part two up hopefully very, very soon, depending on if I can get my camera to cooperate. Um, but yeah, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Um, I am gonna try to get uh part two up there as soon as possible. Um, if I don't have it up within the next couple of days, it just means that I am having issues with my camera again. But yeah, I will definitely try to have it up. I will definitely try to have it up very, very soon. Um, so yeah, so let me know what you guys think, what your thoughts are. Like, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.